Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, Independent Merchant Brokers, and Financial Freedom Wealth Management Group. For more information on Independent Merchant Brokers and their credit card, debit card processing services, go to independentmerchantbrokers.com. And for more information on Financial Freedom Wealth Management Group and their financial services, go to financialfreedomwmg.com. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. So glad to have you with us this morning. Man, I'm telling you, every day I wake up, a new day, new possibilities, new opportunities. I'm always excited. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't matter what's happening to you. It matters what's in here and what you do with that. We're talking about this morning, I was talking to a good friend, Deirdre, Breckenridge, this morning before we got rolling here, and she was telling me all about the importance of mindset and perspective and purpose on life, which is what I am all about. And she just has more education and knowledge, taught at NYU years ago, and so she is an amazing resource. But the reason I bring that up is because we were talking about all of this, and I brought up the book by Craig Groeschel. And it's all about your thinking. It's all about changing your thinking to change your life. And if you have not read books by Craig Groeschel, you have to do that. And it is an amazing book. So anyway, I digress. I just wanted to say welcome again to Marketing with Russ. We're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. And I'm so happy to be with you. I want to thank everybody again. What a blessing you are. This community is amazing. You know, I'm all about connection and community building, but I love to make friends. And there's so many of you out there. I just want to say thank you for your prayers and your thoughts and everything going on in my life. And you know what? That gives me encouragement to move forward, be positive, even though that is my makeup, even though God created me with a positive mindset, you still need people encouraging you. And I want to tell you all how much I appreciate the prayers and encouragement. And yeah, I'm just glad to be here. I'm feeling good this morning. And we are going to have an amazing guest in a few minutes, Wendy Stunt, who is just an amazing friend from across the pond, will be here in just a moment. But I want to remind you just a few things before we get going. Is that all right? Okay, well, it's my show, so I guess I'm going to remind you anyway. Okay. This show is all about how amazing people connect. Connection and community building. I bring that up all the time. Why is that important? What does it have to do with marketing? Well, pretty much everything, because connecting with people and building community is the foundation for any good business, any good marketing plan, I think any good life. And as you do that, you create this community that you then live with and work with, and amazing things can happen. Zig Ziglar said, "You build the people, and then the people build your business." So if we're looking at a business aspect, you need people around. If you're selling something, you need people to buy it. If you've got a service, you need people who need that service, right? So how do you find that? And how do you know who they are? Well, you build community. There you go. So that's this show. I bring on amazing people like Wendy who bring amazing value to you and to me. I learn things every time. So speaking of connecting, guess what? RussEdge.com, easiest way to connect with me, has all my information, all my connection links. Just go there, you got it all. Also, would love to have you be in our YouTube community and subscribe on YouTube. The best way to do that, Marketing with Russ.live. Just type that in. You can open a separate window right now. Marketing with Russ.live. Subscribe. You're good, because then not only do you get notices about upcoming content, but you also get all the past amazing content and the amazing people. And you'll see Wendy a few times in that past content. So that would be a great place to go. Also, right now, whether you're watching live or replay, hit that share button. Please share, get it out there, and share this to your friends in your community. Tag them today. Let them know, hey, Wendy's going to be on. You do not want to miss this, right? So anyway, I just want to thank you all for that. Last but not least, you see it behind me. You haven't got your copy of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. Guess what? You can go to RussEdge.com and get your copy today, or Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any online bookseller that you like, you can get a copy today. I also have a companion workbook that you can pick up. They're all very super reasonable, easy to read, and it will encourage you so much. So, okay, I think that's it. Did I say we're here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time? I think I did. So that's enough for now. Let's bring Wendy in and get this party started. Good morning, Wendy.
Befuddled, live the life you choose.
You do that so good. I should have keyed up the video from when we did the book release. I tell you, I got to tell everybody, because if you haven't seen Wendy before, well, she, besides being an amazing friend and having the biggest smile, she has helped me so many times on big things, releases of my book, releases of or anniversaries of my podcast, all of those things. But when we released the book, Befuddle, Live the Life You Choose, she was doing an intro video and she messed up the title of the book. It was so hilarious that I actually played it on the intro. It was great. So
I'll never live that down. I was like, oh my God, can I do it again? Can I do it again?
but that was my favorite part of the whole thing. And that goes to, people are looking for authenticity and who you really are. And we talk about connection. And when you mess up and they see the real you, that is, people love that. They are drawn to that because we all make mistakes. We all do that. And that is what makes life interesting, right? The perfection does not.
It absolutely does, Russ. You just got to be yourself. You got to have fun. People want to see the real you, and there's no point in putting on a show for anybody, because that's not gonna. It comes across even on a phone call. They'll know, So it's much better to be yourself, and I was definitely myself that day.
Yes, and speaking of yourself, why don't you give everybody a little snapshot? Who is Wendy and what are you up to these days?
Yeah, so I am now head of sales and marketing with a company called vanbuddy.ie, which is so it's an online van company. So any businesses out there looking for commercial vehicles, we can help them out. So we do a lot of lease purchase. So you can do your finance for the van through ourselves as well. So it's kind of the complete package. You just ring us up, tell us what you're looking for, and we'll sort everything out for you. So but I originally came on board to help Jim. Jim Costello is the managing director. So I was helping Jim with his marketing for the last year and a half. And then in November, I came on full time with them. So we're taking Van Buddy to the next level. So that's what I'm at the moment. But you know me, Russ, through Go DigiCard, my business that I won Entrepreneur of the Year for, and that's all about connecting people, which I still do, and I still have a strong passion for, as you know. So yeah, that's what I'm at the moment. And I'm still doing a lot of, I suppose, helping people with their marketing and websites and social media and things like that. But it's more from a connection point of view rather than actually getting in nitty gritty. I'm focusing on Van Buddy.
Well, I love that because you and I talked before. It doesn't matter where you go and what you do, that connection and community goes with you. And
Yeah,
maybe you find an entirely new area of community. And it's amazing when you tie into things. I have a group of people that you will know some of them because it started with the Global Tea Break.
yeah,
And so Gail
yeah.
from the Global Tea Break, she started connecting me with people in the manufacturing world. So
Oh,
manufacturing isn't my key focus, but I have an entire amazing group of friends in manufacturing. It went to Ingram and Roy, and then it went to Dave Chrysler, and it went to Whitney, and there's just person after person, Damon, people that I met because of that. And what happens is you have your old community still there, but you tie into this new group, kind of I think what you did with Van Buddy, and you
yeah.
start to grow from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like at the moment, I'm working with a lot of tradespeople, so which I wouldn't have had any contact with for in my previous businesses. So it's really nice. A lot of guys, a lot of fun. Sure, they'd be having a lot of. I was going to say crack on the phone, but we say crack means fun in Irish. Okay, but yeah, having lots of fun, and yeah, so it's great. It's just so nice meeting different people, having different conversations, and ultimately they are coming to us with a problem that they need to get their van back on the road. And it's kind of always, for me, it's always about helping people if they have a need or have a problem that I have something there to help them. So yeah, it is. It's a totally different industry for me, but I'm absolutely enjoying it. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I just mentioned a whole group of people, but I didn't mention my good friend Katie, who's the manufacturing hype girl, who is here with us today too. And yeah, I this is what I love about you, and all that you do, Wendy, and that is you carry through the same the same you. You're carrying through the same authentic, fun, uh, helpful person that's adding value to people and helping them with their marketing, their communication, whatever it is. And I've been in several different industries also over the years, and you learn that a lot of that just carries through no matter where you are, right?
Absolutely, it really, really does, that connection. Like all that I have learned throughout my years. When I was 16 when I started my first kind of business. So I've had so many different businesses, so many different ideas that, and I've learned from them. I've always a learning experience. So that all has all fed through to everything that I do, and even into Van Buddy today. I'm bringing new ideas, and I'm learning a lot from Jim as well. So it's incredible. We're big fans of putting our listening ears on. There's Don. Don Harris always says, "Get your listening ears on." So yeah, and that's all about learning too. So it's really important to keep listening to when somebody is talking, that you're not interrupting their sentences, all those kinds of things. But that feeds through into everything that you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're a great listener, Russ. You're great for this show, and everybody's always on here enjoying your company, your time, and yeah, that's really important.
Yeah. I agree 100%. And listening is something I definitely need to work on, but it is one of the most important things in communication. It's interesting because I graduated with a communication degree from Oregon State, and I only had to take one listening class the entire time, but I took a whole lot of classes on talking, right? And most of us, like me, don't need a lot of help talking. We need more help listening. But it's interesting because there's a good quote that says you need to not listen to respond, but listen to actually care about the person, and actually listen for value for the person and what they're all about. And that's not an exact quote, but that's the basic thing, is a lot of us
Yeah.
do just listen to respond, right?
Completely, and more so even now. I find since I think since COVID, there's been a big shift in how we're communicating and social anxieties, and I definitely believe that it's hard. People's concentration has gone. It's not the same as it was. So I think we definitely need to get back out there in front of people. I think because a lot of the time we were attending so many events on Zoom or on screens, I think that we've just lost that little bit of, communicating. And it's a skill sometimes that people have to learn as well. It's part of your business. So
Yeah.
I think it definitely is something that we could do with getting back out and getting in front of people. I would love to come and visit you sometime, Russ, over there, and everybody that's there. But yeah, it's definitely important to get out and get in front of people and just reignite that connection.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And, I'm constantly working on listening to what people are saying and making sure I'm in line with them. And it's hard sometimes, especially sometimes when you're producing a show, you're doing so many things. It
Yeah,
can be challenging, but we have to intentionally do that. And, wonderful thing about this show is I learn so much and I'm reminded about so many things. So Yvonne, our good friend, is here this morning. She was just on with me again recently, and Yvonne is a great listener, a great communicator also. And so it's just so nice to, community builds each other up and helps each other, reminds each other of the things that are important. And I think that's why I am true huge fan of we're better together. We're
yeah.
better together. We help each other, right? And that's what I think, that's why connection is so important.
Yeah, look at that from Royce. Isn't that so true? He says you never learn anything by talking. It's just so simple. That is true, Royce. That is exactly it. You gotta give people your time. Actually, that's the most precious thing you can give somebody is your time and listening to them. And at events, you'll know. Like, I mean, I've so many stories, guys, that you go to an event and you can you're talking to someone and the eye contact, but they're actually looking over there, they're looking over there, and you kind of feel like, oh, they don't really want to hear what I have to say. I feel unimportant. This is not good. It's not a nice feeling. So it's so important to make that eye contact and give people your time. But as you say, then when they respond with a question about something you've just been talking about, you feel even more special. You feel that the connection, then, wow, they liked what I said, or especially if you're trying to build new friendships or business relationships, it's so important to do that. I think so, yeah. And smile, positivity,
Which
smile.
you're good at. You're good at. It's interesting because I have two examples. One of which you've met. I don't know if you remember because he's been on a couple of my anniversary shows and the book show and all that stuff. My big brother, and he was my big brother in college, and he always jokes with everybody that nobody can tell us apart. And if I had him here beside me right now, he is very tan and I am not. That'll give you an idea. So but he always jokes how nobody can tell us apart. But he is the best communicator and a really good example of what you just said because he greets you, first of all, complimenting you, telling you how amazing you are, giving you a big hug, and then he releases the hug to just sit back and listen. And he
Yeah,
focuses 100% on you. His eyes don't move around. He doesn't even look at the other people in the group. He completely listens to you. He shows it on his face that he's listening.
yeah,
And you feel like he's amazing. This
yeah.
is one of the best talks I've ever had. And you know what? He hardly said anything. He just listened to you the whole time. And you're like, that was amazing. And the other person was I grew up with, his name was Brian. And Brian had the most active expressions while you were talking, he was so excited based on his face at what you were saying that by the time you got part of it out, you were super excited about what you were saying because he was so excited, you know? And those are just good examples of people, just like Roy said, you never learn anything by talking. You sit back, listen, you learn, and also you add so much value by showing people you care what they're talking about, just like you said.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I suppose we should also mention sharing the conversation, that when you do start to talk, that they return the compliment, that they are listening to you, and it wasn't just all about them either. So it's important to, then you can, you know, well, you've done your bit, and you can decide then whether they are a connection for you or not. Do you know? Because some people can talk about their own business and themselves a lot. But you know, if when it's your turn, you definitely, you know, keep your eyes and ears open to recognize whether they're actually listening back to you. So share the conversation is important too.
Yeah, that is a great point because intentional living and intentional communicating,
Mhm.
you are thoughtful about that because when I realize that I'm talking too much, which happens quite a bit, I am quick to cut myself off. And I have learned in business, Wendy, that you've got to be short, brief, to the point. People lose interest quickly, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my beautiful wife, the way she handles me is when I go on too long, she just changes the subject and goes a different direction. And so she's like, okay, we're done with that. We've covered enough of that. Yeah, I don't need a background on every single person in your life to give me one point, you know? So,
Yeah, no, totally, totally. One other thing as well that I noticed a lot at events now is people tend to be at the back of events, and they've got their phones up, and they're kind of. But you know what? Sometimes it's not about, they're not being rude intentionally. It might be their self-esteem, their confidence is low. They've never been to this event before. They don't know anybody. So what do we automatically do? Like we do in the dentist's or the doctor's office, wherever we're on the bus, we're on our phones, you know. So I actually make it or intentionally go over to those people to say, do you know anybody? Would you like me to facilitate introducing you to them or whatever it might be? Because I just think that there's a lot of people now that do use, we all use our phones to kind of get out of a conversation or move away or whatever it might be. What we say, the quick or the polite entrance and exit, it's now being used for but yeah, I think that's another good, you know, thing to be aware of. That I know some people can think that it's rude that people are on their phones, but just be aware too, it could be just a crutch that they're using, you
you
know. So,
know, that's really important. That's like brilliant that you brought up. Major mic drop, golden nugget. Everybody think about people's actions a lot of times are their safety zone, their comfort zone, their crutch. And I have seen that a lot, honestly, with phones because you'll see people, they find comfort in looking at their phone and the things that are in there, maybe scrolling through social media, whatever. They find comfort in that because they're either in a situation where they're not comfortable or they're just trying to give themselves, you know, something instead of worrying about, you know, what they're going to say or what people are doing or things like that. Also, everybody needs to think about ourselves. And this is one thing I always think about, what does it look like to other people? Because you just brought that up. If someone's talking, I'm guilty of this, by the way, so I'll raise my hand. Someone's up talking and you've got your phone up.
oh no.
Well, maybe you're taking a picture of them. Maybe you're
Yeah.
making a note on what they're saying. When I'm in church, I'm very inconspicuously trying to type in notes from the sermon, not to look like I'm texting somebody, you know. Um, yeah, because there's a lot of good reasons to use your
There
phone
is
for things, but you got to be careful because how does it look to other people? That's, you know, that's an important thing.
perception. Yeah, I use my phone a lot for notes as well now at events, so that I can, when I'm doing my social media posts, as we do after we attend events, that I've got the content there, or like that. If somebody says, and there's a golden nugget, you want to get it into your phone as soon as possible. So yeah, no, it is. It is. There's so different sides, I suppose, and it's just to be mindful that there's different reasons. I know I used to take great offense at meetings when people would come in and their phones would be on the table, but they think that by turning it upside down, just face down, it's, I'm okay, I'm important, or that, that they're not going to look at who it is, but still it rings and then they pick it up and look at it and you go, so I used to be offended by that, but now I suppose you understand it. You have to understand people have other things going on in their lives, that they may need to take an urgent phone call, or their children are at home, or they need to be contactable. So yeah, it's just to be mindful of different people's situations and not to get too personal or upset about it.
Right. Well, and you know one thing I found based on what you just said, I try, so that I don't do this well all the time, but I try to say, "Oh my goodness, that was amazing what you said." Just a moment here. I need to put that in my phone in a note real quick. Or, there's times when people will say to me something, and there's somebody's having issues, and I said, I need to remember to pray for them. Give me just a minute. I'll type it in my phone real quick, but I'll tell them what I'm doing, so they know that I'm tracking with them and I'm actually engaged. That's the reason I'm using it. So then it kind of takes that off, like, yeah, they're totally ignoring me. I mean, I've talked to people, they're on their phone constantly, and you're thinking, yeah, they don't care what I'm saying, right? That's what you're thinking the first thing.
It
And
is.
so,
It's your natural instinct, isn't it, to think, oh, they're on their phone, or I'm not important. And I suppose that's what we say about the eye contact and the smile, and the phones definitely have it kind of gotten in the way of a bit of that.
yeah.
What is Catty saying? I love this.
Yeah, Katie's amazing. She
Okay,
is so fun.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
it's all right. You would love her. You guys got to connect. She is just an amazing person. And of course, this community, I only connect with amazing people. So it is a blessing to me. And I want to encourage everybody. So we are getting closer. We got to wrap things up for today. But I want to tell you all that if you are not connected with Wendy, you need to be. She is an amazing person. Her amazing contact information is right there below
Oh,
me,
thank
and that's
you.
probably not even
Thank you.
all of it. But you guys need to connect with Wendy, because just from who she is, what she's all about, you will gain so much value and a great friend. And I just want to thank you for being my friend. Thank you for always being willing to come on and make me look good. And
I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that.
but it's just, I just really appreciate you, because again, I think you have so much value to add. So as we wrap up today, give everybody your gold nugget of the day, what you really want them to remember from what we talked about, and then remind people one more time how they get in touch with you.
Okay, so I think from today's conversation, our golden nugget is, what are we using as a crutch for that when we're going to events or when we're talking to people? What do we go to when we're uncomfortable? And try and challenge yourself not to do it as often as you are. So the next time you go to pick up your phone or scroll when you're at an event, try looking around the room and see if there's someone you could go and talk to.
Perfect. And tell everybody, so they hear it on the audio version,
Okay.
what the best ways to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is my platform of choice. So I'm just Wendy Stunt on LinkedIn. And I also have godigicard.com and obviously vanbuddy.ie for anyone with their van needs. And my email address is wendystunt@gmail.com. So that would
All
be
very simple.
Yeah, there's only one Wendy Stunt.
Yes, and if you're listening to this so everything we do converts to audio podcast. So if you're listening to this and not viewing it, find a copy of this on YouTube. You go to my YouTube, I told you before, Marketing with Russ Live. Find a copy. You can click on all the information on LinkedIn, on YouTube, whatever. All the information will be there. and you go directly to Wendy. So it makes it super easy. You don't even have to remember. You just click on it, boom, there you go. And again, so important. Everybody that I have on the show, I want to remind you that they are amazing people that you need to connect with. And so today, that's how you build good community. That's how you make good things happen. And again, man, I tell you, Wendy, I appreciate you so much and all that you're about and your friendship. And yeah, it's just been, we've been friends now for a long time.
Yeah.
It seems like, yeah.
I know.
And
We got to get you to Dublin, and we got to get D Scott and you over here to Dublin. Like we keep saying it, but we got to make this happen.
no, I know we've got to create some kind of an event. So I need to bring my beautiful wife and Scott,
Yeah.
and we need to come.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we will do that. We'll do that. But anyway, listen, thanks so much again. I'm going to send you to the green room and say goodbye, but hang tight for just a sec. All right.
Okay. Mind yourself. Bye.
Bye. Hey everybody. Oh my goodness. Amazing. I'm at a loss for words because Wendy is always, she is so joyful. You just look at her face. So full of good and positive information. I mean, mic drop after mic drop, gold nugget after gold nugget. If you miss part of this show, go back and watch it on replay. Share it with your friends. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you're watching on live or replay, you can still share. So please do that now. Share it out there. Also, like I said before, please go to my YouTube page. It's Marketing with Russ.live. Go to there now, building the YouTube community, because there is such a huge library of value and great people. I have now done, I even forgot what episode this is. I have done over 320 episodes, and I forgot which one it is, but it's been a lot. Also, Russ Reels Live is on there as well, so you'll get all kinds of information. If you want to also check out the experience.video, which is Scott's and my show Wednesday, The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. So I'm here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm here every Wednesday with The Experience Live with Russ and Scott at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And before that, we're on Instagram Live with The Experience Backstage on Instagram only, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And then Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, I'm on Russ Reels Live and have panels. It's a panel-driven show, a topic-driven, panel-driven show. Amazing. So guess what? Today's Thursday, and tonight there is Russ Reels Live, and you can check out the amazing people that I have on there. And I just want to remind you that it's as easy as going to your social media page, just like you did today, clicking on it, and voila, there you go. All the information, all the shows, everything you need. Wendy's information is also scrolling below us as we speak. And I am going to wrap things up for today. But I just want to remind you, every Monday and Thursday, we're here, Marketing with Russ.live. And also, if you want to get a copy of my book, just go to russedge.com. Gave you that information before. Best way to find out about me, please connect with me. You can schedule time on my calendar. I'd love to chat with you. So anyway, until we talk again, I just want to thank you for being here today. Have a great day and a great life. Talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.